Hey guys, it's great to have you back. It really is. I've missed you so much. But last week I had Realme GT and POCO F3 go against each other. I compared pretty much everything, but it's a massive 31-minute video. So I've decided to take the camera portion out of that video and create a separate video just for that. Just for people who just want the camera review. So without further ado, here it is. Okay guys, so this is the contraption I used to compare the cameras. Now the POCO F3 has a 48 megapixel main sensor and the Realme GT has a 64 megapixel main sensor. The POCO F3 has 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 5 megapixel macro, whereas the Realme GT has an 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 2 megapixel macro. The video app, or the camera app, and look, first sight, I can tell you now there's not much. There's not much difference. And you can sort of see when you look for a viewfinder, sort of the quality and stuff you might expect to get. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to snap this photo here. Boom. And when you compare the two together, it's very, very difficult to call. Okay, you can just see me down here. So POCO F3 on the left, Realme GT on the right. What we're getting here, they've both got HDR on at the moment. I think the F3 is looking slightly more saturated, I think, just in the face. Got more of a tanned skin. Let me take this photo here. Yeah, POCO F3 is sort of more of a tanned sort of skin really, if you look at that. I prefer that on the F3. So the F3 has a 20 megapixel front-facing camera and the Realme GT is 16 megapixels. Right, so this next part is just basically giving me lots of videos and lots of pictures on both of these smartphones. I want you to have a good look and let me know which camera is going to come out on top for you. I test, obviously 4K 60 on the Realme GT, but there's no 4K 60 on the F3. There's so many different things, but I think Realme GT overall offer a little bit more in terms of video. There's also the live focus video on the Realme GT as well. So you do get a bit more on the Realme GT in terms of features and stuff in camera and video. So let's jump into them. Enjoy. Okay, so the POCO F3 doesn't have 4K 60, but it does have 4K 30 with stabilization. We're at 4K 60 on the Realme GT with stabilization and 4K 30 on the POCO F3. Both doing a very good steady job. The Realme GT is more cropped in though. There's a more wider angle on the POCO F3. As always, what do you guys think of the quality? There we go. So now we're at both 4K 30. Even Stevens, both have stabilization. So if you're looking for the 4K 60, you might want to choose the Realme GT on this one. What's doing the better job? Swing around, a fast walk. That's 4K 30 on both. Okay, so now we're 1080p 60 on both. This is probably what people are probably going to use more, maybe. But as you can see, the POCO F3 has no stabilization at 1080p 60. So it could be a big deal breaker. There's definitely more capabilities in terms of camera on the Realme GT. Look at that wobble on the POCO F3. Come on, POCO, just apply an update if you can and get stabilization on the POCO F3. Okay. 1080p 60. 1080p 30 next. 1080p 30. The angle of view is pretty much the same on both now. There's not much crop on the Realme GT. Stabilization in both, obviously. 1080p 30.
Daddy, what is it, Emma?
A map. That's the map of this area.
Oh, we go that way, that way, that way.
Yeah. It says there, look, you are here. That's where we are. Yeah? So this is 1080p 30, guys. What do you think to this? Let me know in the comments. The light's flickering on both of them as well. We will do soon. Okay, so this is ultra wide on both. Now ultra wide only works on both at 1080p 30 frames per second. They don't work at 60 frames per second and they don't work in 4K. So this is 1080p ultra wide 30 frames per second. What do you guys think to this then? Oh yeah. Colby, I see you repping geeky stuff there. Good boy. Where's your geeky stuff t-shirt, Ariel? Where's yours?
I don't have one.
Yeah, you do. You didn't want to wear it, did you?
Yeah. Let's get the box out.
So we're at 1080p 30 on both of these on the selfie camera. The Realme GT only does 1080p 30. This is arm's length. Doesn't seem to be any stabilisation much on the GT. It's much better on the POCO F3 by the looks of that. Spin around. Now the POCO F3 does support 1080p 60, whereas the Realme GT does not. But look, the POCO F3 is doing a much better job in stabilising that. Okay, so now we're at 1080p 60 on the POCO F3 and 1080p 30 on Realme GT. So in terms of stabilisation, both look similar. There's no stabilisation at all really. A bit of wobble there. So would you really use 1080p 60 on the POCO F3 if there's no stabilisation? If you've got a gimbal maybe, it'll be alright. Yeah, it'll be your choice. But I think overall, front facing camera on the POCO F3 in terms of video would be the better choice. So I think there's bokeh in video mode compared to that one. So we're on a tripod at the moment, 1080p 30 frames per second, ultra wide on both, on a tripod. It says pan, so panning around now. And there we go. Pan back around, and we got the boat in there. So that was the camera comparison. Really hope that footage was of some value to you all. A quick sort of round up. You know, after I've had a week to sort of digest the video I made last week, there's been a few things that I want to add that I did find it difficult to choose an overall winner on the previous video, and I still do, but in terms of camera, I would have to give it to the POCO F3. The Realme smartphone does oversaturate a lot of the pictures and the videos, and in some cases. It does ruin the sort of the skin tone, and it does ruin a few of the photos, and in ultra wide as well, especially, it's more common, that effect as well. So for overall quality and in terms of natural look, the POCO F3 wins it for me. But the Realme GT does have a few more features like the live video focus, whether you'd want to use that or not. And it does have 60 FPS at 4K as well. But as an all-rounder, the POCO F3 wins for me. Let me know in the comments below which you think, or which one you prefer in the camera department. And yeah, if you enjoyed the content, please hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.